Hi, my name is Tony and I made these moccasins from scratch using only leather and thread. And it only took me one day. These are probably the easiest type of footwear anyone can put together. And during the next 20 minutes or so, we will go over the materials you're gonna need, the tools I found most useful, and tell you what option you have if your foot is a little bit on the wider side. But every good project needs a plan and every leather item needs a pattern. So I left links in the video description for you to download the templates for these guys. Different sizes will be available. After you download the pattern, go ahead and open it with Adobe Reader. Next, use a ruler to measure your foot, just like I'm doing here. Once you know how big your foot is, select only the pages that contain your size and print them at actual size. This is super important. You can and you should use the included diagram to make sure the pattern printed correctly before you start your build. Corresponding US and EU sizes are included, but do check the foot size if you can, just to avoid surprises. Just as important is the leather you will be using. Traditionally, deer skin has been used for hundreds of years when making these because it's soft and durable, all right? But I'm gonna use a leather 7-8 ounces that's not too stiff to work with, like this top grain cowhide I have right here. Next, I will show you how to use the paper pattern to cut all the pieces of leather you're gonna need to put these together. I will remind you before you cut the leather, make sure you are working with the correct pattern size. This is easy because every page has the size written on it somewhere in the corner. They are also separated by foot, all right, left and right, and I strongly recommend you build one foot at a time to avoid mixing up pieces, all right? Are we okay? Are we clear with that? Very good. Okay, then let's continue. First, we connect the pieces that are split on two pages, all right? Become a Diesel Punk Road channel member and get 2 different leather working patterns every month. Watch our live build along sessions whenever you want and proudly show your very own Diesel Punk Road badge every time you post a comment. Click that join button and unlock all of these exclusive perks right now. Next, we cut them out of the page and use masking tape to stitch them onto the leather so we can punch all the stitching holes and then cut them out. A few tips. If your hide is too large, cut it to manageable pieces because we don't all have queen size working desks, okay? Another tip, rub some wax along the stitching line before you use your hole puncher. Now, this will prevent clogging your hole puncher and it will also make it easier for the tool to slide out of the leather after each punch. I also recommend you get a high density plastic board to slide under the leather instead of whatever you're using right now, okay? Now, this will protect your hole puncher's tip and keep it sharper for much longer. After you punch all the stitching holes, use a sharp blade to cut the leather just like I'm doing here. It's always a good idea to finish the edges, and in this case I will just apply some edge dye. Last thing before we start stitching, we're gonna need to insert something soft in between these two pieces, and I found the foam used in yoga mats is perfect. All right, you can get one of these for less than $10 and it will be enough for at least 15 pairs, all right, maybe more. Once you cut the insole, go ahead and use some cement glue to attach it to this piece, just like I'm doing here. Now we got everything we need, so let's get to stitching, all right? And we're gonna start with the back right here, all right? Quick cross stitch to get your fingers warmed up. Good. Now let's attach the sole to this little guy we just made. There are 2 stitching lines going all around the edges, and together they will shape your shoe beautifully, all right? Just take your time and trust the pattern. at the end, you will get something like this. Fantastic work. Next, we need to attach this bit here. But before we do, I would skive the shoulder side a little bit, all right? The one that gets attached on the inside for a better fit. You don't have to, but if you have good skiving skills and a sharp blade, you can. I also experimented with a lamb fur here, and you know what, it doesn't look too bad, so go ahead and use whatever you like. Back to our build here, I'm gonna use these stitching holders to hold this guy in place while I do my stitch. Now, link to these guys and other useful tools down in the video description. We're making progress, and before we continue, cut a leather lace that goes around the back and have enough room left at the top here to tie a double bow, okay? Now, we're gonna fold this guy nicely around the shoe with the lacing underneath. Do it now, otherwise you're gonna find it very hard to insert the lacing after you finish the second stitch. After you're done, I suggest softening the back here a little bit with a round hammer if your leather isn't soft enough. All right, this will make it much easier on your heels. Next, the last stitch. We are almost done. Just this cross stitch left here. You will note there is a distinct difference between the hole spacing on this guy and this top part here. Our job will be to continually pull the leather so the holes are aligned when we stitch them together. All right, it will take a little bit more effort, but at the end we will get this very nice shape we have right here at the top of the shoe. One more thing, all right? Every size will contain two of these parts here, all right? One for a wider foot and one for a more narrow shaped foot, all right? So if you made them using the narrow bit and the shoes feel a bit too tight, you can always unstitch and use the wider piece for a more comfortable fit. Don't forget, leather will also stretch, okay? You're gonna have to take that into account as well. So maybe give it a few hours of wearing this about before you start unstitching and replacing this. Okay, well done. But most people, they have 2 feet, all right? So now you're gonna have to put together the other foot, all right? Same way, here is how. Congratulations, you stayed and watched through all that. That is very good, shows you have commitment. I also have commitments somewhere else, so I will thank you for watching my video and I will ask you to please like this video and subscribe to this channel. And if you're gonna click that little bell button as well, next time I publish cool videos just like this one, you will get notified and you can be the first one to watch it before everyone else. I'm out. Peace.